Hello everybody and welcome. I am joined by Kate and Tony from UK Games Expo, and today we're having a bit of a chat about the actual event. So what I want in this one is a bit of an overview for anybody who's been living under a rock and has never heard of this before. Also, if this is someone sharing this video with a family member who's maybe never been gaming before, give me the lowdown on, let's start out, what is it?
Okay, so UK Games Expo is the UK's largest hobby games convention. So just so that there's no confusion, that means pretty much everything that isn't a computer game. So this is about tabletop gaming. So we're talking role-playing games, we're talking miniature war games, collectible card games like Magic, although other products are available, obviously.
Lightseeker guys over there.
And board games, of which there is an enormous variety. So it's about that sort of tabletop gaming. In addition to that, we've got all sorts of other events around that sort of culture that run through the show, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So UK Games Expo is held at the NEC in Birmingham at the end of May. So it's May 31st to, was it May 30th to the 1st of June?
Friday the 31st to the 2nd of June.
That's why we got cake, because I can't remember my own birthday, never mind when we're running a show. So Kate comes along just to slap me on the side of the head so I know what day it is.
Yeah, you guys basically take over like a section of Birmingham out by the airport in the NEC.
Yes, we do. So we take the Metropole Hilton Hotel as well. So, and 2 halls of the NEC this year. So it's about 30,000 square meters of gaming goodness.
Wonderful. Which is probably why you have to run it over a few days.
Yes, so we run it over 3 days, the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday of the half term. So kids can come on the Friday, they haven't got to take any time off school.
Yep.
So we run over those 3 days. We run from 9:30 in the morning, and the NEC part, the trade hall, where we've got over 400 traders we're expecting, will run till about 6:30 on an evening. But you can then carry on gaming till midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. So basically, you can game until you fall over.
Please don't fall over.
I'll assume you have volunteers who are ready just to drag people into a corner.
Oh, we have wheelbarrows and things. So, and there's a lake outside, so we just tip them in.
Didn't know you partnered up with a Lada dealership.
We do have ambassadors to look after people.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the history, because the convention's been running for a good while now, and every year it just gets bigger and better.
Yes, so it's been running now for what? 11, 12 years. So I think this is the 12th Expo.
13th, yeah.
13th Expo,
yeah.
like I said. Don't know when it is, don't know how long it's been going.
We're having fun.
Yes, it all merges into one. So it's been going now for 12 years. This is the 13th Expo. It started off just as a little local show, couple of hundred people back in 2007, I think it was, round about then, and has been and has just grown organically since then. We had about 1,000 people the first time. This year we're expecting 25,000 or 40-odd thousand people over 3 days.
Wow.
So if you have any interest in gaming or family day out, anything like that, then UK Games Expo is not only sort of a great venue to come to, but also is great value for money.
Yeah, well, it's one thing I adore about the show is just the absolute diversity that you have. There is something for everybody, and traders coming to the show and companies coming to the show, they always have nice, big, beautiful demo areas set up for people to come in, sit down and play. And that actually leads perfectly to the next segment, which is accessibility, which I want to talk to Kate about. So for people coming for their first time, is it really easy for people to, get in and get stuck in and have fun?
Yes, absolutely. So the big thing about the expo is we actually have a first-timers guide. So if this is the first time you rock up, you don't know anything that's going on, you're actually given information as to what you can do, how you can get involved. We also have a very big ambassadors program. So anyone in a light blue shirt will be able to help you, tell you where you need to go, see what's going on, listen to what you might want to play, and then direct you accordingly. Now, this is if you rock up on the day. However, if you've pre-booked a ticket, then you can look on our social media, you can look on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, sign up for our newsletter, and all of this means that you can get a heads up on what's happening, you can book tickets in advance, and it gives you a whole wealth of opportunity to see what's going on. Because the big thing we want is we want anyone to be able to come along and play games and enjoy the whole gaming atmosphere that's there. Doesn't matter if you've been playing for a bazillion years and know every rule and regulation back to front and, you know, preferred 4.5 edition to 8th or whatever it is, or whether you've just turned up, your mate does gaming, you're not sure about it. We want it to be absolutely just as accessible to both sets of people, and that's what we're finding, and it's a wonderful mix.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like on top of that, I've actually seen, you know, lots of like young families and stuff running about as well. So there's something for everybody. I know last year there was like a youngsters area.
Yeah, we have a dedicated family zone where kids and adults can learn to play together and interact together. And Haber, who are a big kids toys and games manufacturer and publisher, they are actually sponsoring that area for us. We also have a dedicated children's role-playing game area as well, which is awesome.
I'm curious to see how that plays out, seeing little Nippers role-playing. I'm very curious.
As we said, when we started, we had a couple of guys who came to us and said, we'd like to run a children's role-playing area. So that's really for the sort of 6 to 7 year olds up to about the 10, 11.
Okay, so we're not talking adult kid.
No. So first of all, we had them, you know, checked for mental instability, because I can't understand why anybody would want to spend with a table full of kids. It seems like an intense, long day to me. But these guys were very keen to do it, and they produce specially written scenarios for the kids, and so it's not a crash. The parents, there's space for them to sit around as well. So, you know, because as these are small children, you know, they can get stressed quite quickly. So it's not a case of drop them off and then come back later.
Yeah, and it's a big event. So
yes, I mean, so, you know, while we have lost children policy, we don't really want to auction them off at the end of the day because we want to go and have a beer. So the children's role-playing area, and that's grown from like one table, which just gets booked out almost immediately, to 2, 3, 4 tables. So now there's quite a large zone for that. And as Kate said, we've got this family zone. And the idea of that is you come, and again, it's not a creche. This is about playing together. Yeah. I mean, one of the mottos or the things that we're looking at is life is better playing together. And so this will introduce you to a whole range of games that you can play as a family. Because you know what it's like, sometimes when you're playing with the kids, if you play a kids game, it's dull as dishwater for the adults, and you just trash them every time, and then they get upset. No. Apparently,
that's not how you're meant to play that game.
Oh, well, I should have told my kids that.
Have you never watched Star Wars? Let the Wookiee win.
Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, but they're only little. They're like the Ewoks. Nobody lets the Ewoks win.
Those things are frightening.
They really are.
But the games that we teach and the Imagination Gaming, who run our family zone for us, bring in, are great for the whole family. In other words, adults and kids together can have a great game.
Yeah, and I remember last year I saw you guys did some like supersized games as well that were brought out. I think it was Asmodee brought them in.
Yes, they do. So
I love seeing things.
And one
like
of the great things about those is that when both the adults and the kids sit down together, everyone has oversized pieces in their hands. So as far as the children are concerned, the adults are in exactly the same thing. So kind of psychologically, it's like you're all playing exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the breadth really of the expo. So if you think about it, we've got live comedy shows. So Nightmare, the old children's role-playing television program.
I remember I actually got to go to it before it was released. One of my buddies was in on the Kickstarter.
All right.
Oh, so good.
Well, we have the live show of that, run by some comedy guys. We have John Robinson, The Dark Room, and if you haven't seen John Robinson in The Dark Room, you haven't been insulted much.
This is true. Also, your name is Derek.
Darren. Oh my word! You're going to be in for a Twitter storm for that one.
Yes.
That's it.
I apologise sincerely, and
I get the feeling I have missed drama on the internet.
Yes.
So we've got tournaments. We've got the FFG, the Fantasy Flight Games Nationals this year. There is one of the great things about Expo and gaming in general is while there's a huge trade where you can come and buy stuff, all of those traders will be running demonstrations of their games. You can go, you can play it, costs you nothing, and you can play in that hall all day. I guarantee it. All day, every day, not spend a penny. They'll just let you play the games. And then if you find something you like, rather than a punt in the dark, you go, well, I've played this. It's a really great game, and you can buy it. And that's what the Expo is about. It's about not just buying, it's about playing.
You can then take it to the open gaming area, where we've got about 2,500-ish seats.
Just lots of seats.
Where you can just then go and play the game.
Yeah, I believe you have a board game library at the show as well.
Oh, yes, Thirsty Meeples, the board games cafe in Oxford. If you're in Oxford, pop in and see the guys. They're lovely. They run our board games library. So in that, there's 2 board game libraries. One at the Hilton and one in the NEC, and those are the 2 places we have our open gaming zones. And between them, there's about 1,500 games you can borrow. So all you do is you put a £10 deposit down.
Yep.
You go, you can borrow games all weekend, play them, give them a go, and again, then just return them back. And at the end of the, your time there, hand back in, you'll get your £10 back. So it's cost you nothing. And it's a great way to play games. And the guys at Thirsty Meeples who run the board game library for us, great for advice as well. If you're not sure what to play, ask. And I think, if we're going to give you, if it's the first time you've encountered the Expo, the key giveaway here is, if you don't know, you can ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The blue shirted ambassadors are there to help you along. They're not just to show you where the toilets are, because actually there's great big signs with the toilet on. They will point at them for you if you can't see them. But actually they're there to, if you don't know what to do, a bit lost in it, they're there to help you and go, right, what sort of thing would you like? What sort of thing is available? And they're there and they're specially trained to help you with that. The traders are massively friendly people. These individuals are passionate about what they do and they create and want to talk to you about it. They're not just there, we're just going to sell. Yeah.
Well, the vibe I always get from the traders is, welcome to the world I've created. Would you like to come and explore?
Absolutely.
And
it's like they've got the keys to the Magic Kingdom.
Exactly.
And instead of beating you with a bunch of stuff, they're opening the door and saying, here, do you want to try this? And that's always the thing. Do you want to try this?
Yeah, but that's got to be the aim of the whole thing, is we want to introduce people to more games and new ways to interact with themselves, their friends, their family.
Very much so. Everyone is looking for value for money in everything they do these days. And in terms of social interaction, and also in terms of just having fun together and levels and length of time of being able to play a game, games are terrific for that. Because your initial investment, you'll get hours and hours and hours of play, especially as most games these days have got additions that you can do, different ways you can play it, different ways you can run the scenarios within the game. So there's a lot of good value for money just from playing games. And it's a huge social element. You can actually talk to somebody face to face. I know that might seem weird and strange, but yeah. And you don't get to scream at the screen, and that's a good thing. You can actually talk to a person and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing this. That's great."
I think what Expo is about, and I know for myself, and Richard, my fellow director, who got stuck in Nuremberg, so couldn't be here today.
Oh, he had trials getting out of Nuremberg?
His flight was cancelled. So he slept in a cardboard box or something.
Oh,
I don't know where he slept, but because I didn't ask.
I was simply found an Airbnb of some sort.
So, the reason the Expo exists, and we want it to exist, is because we want to have 2-3 days where you can just come and have a good time.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the key to it all. Is look, we want you to come and have 1, 2, 3 days, whatever you do, where you're just having a good time, where all of the stresses of flipping Brexit, no exit, what's it. Forget all that.
Backstops, yeah.
Backstops, no backstop, all of that. We're just going to play some games and have a good time, meet some people, and just have new experiences. And that's key for us. So everything that we do is really designed to give people a good time, stress-free time, to make sure that we don't get in your way, if nothing else. Because sometimes you go to some of these things and it seems everything's designed for them.
Yeah.
And we really try and design things for the people coming, so because we want them to have a good time.
Yeah.
And if at the end of the weekend they go, I had a great time, met some great people, played some great games, then that's, tick the box, job done.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's say this video has whet their appetites. Where can they go to find out more information? What sort of avenues and options do they have?
So the best bet is go to the website. That's gamesexpo.co.uk. We have an awful lot of every possible type of question you might ask or might want to know about the Expo already on there. You can buy tickets through the website. When you log in, it will give you all of your information on there. You can subscribe to the newsletter. That will send you information. You can tick your preferences as what you want to know about, what you want to hear about, how often you want to be emailed.
Yep.
All of these things are on the website, so it makes it accessible to everybody.
Yeah, if there's something particular you want, the newsletter is very useful.
Yes.
And we do a digest as well, which is a great thing. So because there's so much, if you sign up for everything, you thump, and you'll just get a load of stuff. So the digest effectively is a summary of the newsletters in the various categories. So you get an overview sort of once a week of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's the best way that if you're waiting for something to be released, like one of the comedy shows or a particular tournament or a set of tickets, or just want to know generally what's coming and what's being released at the show, that's a great way of doing that. Yeah. Facebook again is great, but it tends to scroll away and you lose it.
Yes. Tracking stuff down on Facebook can be a bit of a pain in the butt.
And as we get closer to the Expo, the amount of stuff that we're releasing and telling you about means that goes quite quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Kate?
very much so. So it's a case of if you happen to be on the Facebook feed and looking for things like that, then we usually try and give you a heads up that something is coming out. So we might do a countdown. We might say it's going to be released on this date. All of these things to try and give everyone a chance to get on and see what they want to do.
And another thing to help you with your experience of the Expo is we have an app.
Yes.
If you go to the Google Play Store or
The Apple Store.
The Apple Store.
The Apple Store.
I don't know that.
This is an argument.
I'm living the life.
Oh dear.
That's 2 against 1, you see.
You're outnumbered.
Yes, but it only takes me 15 minutes to release an Android app and takes me 3 days to release the Apple version. So it just stresses my head. But whatever, you can go and get the app, and what that will give you is all sorts of things. So all of your tickets, etc. If you want when you want to collect your tickets at the show, that has a little collect tickets button. You get scanned at the show, and out come all of your tickets. It's got all of the games, etc., in there in a schedule, so you can actually add that to your own little personal list of what you're going to do at the weekend. If you've got stuff in the bring and buy, we have the, I think probably, and somebody can challenge me on this, and I don't mind, we think we've got the world's biggest bring and buy.
I was in there last year. It was bedlam.
It's immense.
It is chaos incorporated, but they really know what they're doing in there.
Yeah.
But we have... If you've got stuff you're selling in the bring and buy, this will keep track for you, so you don't have to keep sticking your nose in and making the queues bigger.
So basically, my phone will go ping. I'll look at it and go, "Oh, I've sold that. I can go grab the money and buy another game."
Yep.
No,
Well,
No.
it won't ping you.
Oh,
Okay, because that'll just be annoying. So what it will do is when you tap your bring and buy button, it will give you the current status. It will go and query it at that point.
well, still, I can look at it and go, "Okay, so that and that sold. I can then go pick up that and that."
That's right. You can then
That's
go and
exactly how it
partially
works.
cash out, get the money, go and buy some more stuff, ready for next year's bring and buy. So the app's it's a free app. It's a great way of just giving you a better experience. The hall maps, as we get closer, will be loaded into that.
Yeah.
And all the exhibitors as well are all listed in there.
Yeah.
And their stand numbers, so just gives you a better experience.
much easier way of finding people, things, items, games.
Yeah.
So, and you can vote on the awards.
Yes, you can.
As
Yes,
well.
yes, you can. So for the UK Games Expo Awards, of which this year we know there are going to be an awful lot. I nearly got snowed under with packages the other day as the deadline approached for the first deadline for the awards.
Oh, so is this people sending in
Yes.
the
So
copies?
this is
for
There
you?
were about
Publishers, the
80,
games.
90 games literally arrived.
Wow.
Just stacks up.
So it was just every delivery driver for every different DPD,
Yeah.
UPS, were just coming through the door.
That one poor guy from Royal Mail just dragging a sack.
And to a lot of people, they go, "Oh man, look at all these new games." But there comes a point where you go, "No, I can't get in the office now."
Cannot process.
Can't find my desk.
So I'm then shouting on the phone at Pat, who adjudicates our awards and all that. Get in here and get these games out to the judges. But we have the Judges Award and the People's Award. So the Judges Awards are being worked on now. So the judges will be going through those games and they'll score them. And that will then be released at the awards ceremony on Sunday. But during the show, a short list of 3 games in each category you can vote for on the app.
Yeah.
And so it's a great way of going and playing a few of those games,
Yeah.
and then putting your vote in.
Yeah, putting your accolade toward the games you love.
Absolutely. And the wonderful thing is that you have very small publishers alongside very large publishers.
Yes.
So the range is incredible for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, that'll do us for the overview, I think. I do want to drill down deeper into some of the other aspects of the event. So we will be coming back with more videos, so we will move on. Get your comments in below. Tell us what you think of UK Games Expo. What are you looking forward to see? And we will move on, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.